Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith everybody's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited again today, and you all know why, because I'm speaking with another extraordinary person from around the world, and it's exciting to me. And I just explained prior to this segment. Let me quit talking. Let me introduce my guest. Her name is Kim Lansdowne Walker. And before she tells you anything about her, I'm going to tell you a few points about her before we get started in this amazing dialogue that we have planned today. So Kim's her awakening started in 1980 in a near-death experience where she was shown that near-death accident was set to rapidly clear karma from humanity's condition. Wow. During that time, she was supported by light beings and angelic healers who have since become her guides and led her to various physical teachers to study a variety of healing modalities that would enhance her work in personal development, conscious evolution, and ascension. Amazing. After her initial awakening and core training in Naturopathic Nutrition, Herbal Medicine, Psychic Healing, Hypnotherapy, NLP, Psychotherapy, and Bodywork, she became a trance channel in 1992. That's when things started to become really interesting. Wow. And I'll just scroll down a little bit. There's so much amazingness in this bio, and I wish I could read it all, but we're going to cover more of it in the talk. Kim considers herself to be a map maker for souls, to create soul paths for clients, to move along to free them to move into their dream life. When she initially left school, she wanted to be cartographer? A map maker. Yeah, cartographer. Okay. I'd never seen that word. Cartographer, a map maker. But this course was no longer offered. So she moved from healthcare and earth care, and now she finds herself full circle, creating maps for earth souls. Wow, amazing again. So Kim has a passion. Her passion is botanical perfumery. She loves to create natural perfumes, and then she's exploring the creative art side this year. She's interested in all things historic to do with the stars, planets, and Earth. She says, I guess I am an alchemist. Wow. She'd be happy to offer a meditation download for the viewers, you guys and gals, and an opportunity to have a 15-minute soul gap discovery call for those that might like some guidance. That's amazing, Kim. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you, Luke. Yeah,
yes.
It's a beautiful day here in Australia. So yeah, I'm good. It's not raining.
Wow, that's amazing. And prior to us coming on here, I was just talking to Kim about the beautiful people that I've met from Australia. I seem to have some type of connection with Australia because one of my main mentors that helped me with my transformation is from Australia, and his name is Jason Stevenson, and I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. And Kim, if you don't know, I would strongly advise you to look him up, Jason Stevenson, on YouTube, and listen to some of his beautiful guided meditations.
Sounds amazing. I will definitely do that.
Amazing.
I love meditations.
Yes, amazing soul Jason is. And not to leave out anybody, but yeah, there's a few people. And now I have Kim Lansdowne Walker. So let's just get right into it. So you know what really stands out to me is, can you elaborate a little bit more, if you like, on what happened in 1980?
Okay. In 1980, I'd finished my nursing degree, and then I decided I wanted to travel. So I went to Europe, And when I went to Europe, I was on a tour, a Kentucky tour, and we were in the Greek islands, and I had a moped accident. Like, I came off, there was 6 of us. It was actually on my dad's birthday. In my family, things happen really significantly on people's birthdays or really close to birthdays. It's like, it's almost as if there's a whole energetic thing around that. I'm sure a lot of people may even experience that for themselves. It feels like there's this really karmic connection within the family. And so that was on my dad's birthday, and I had this accident on the way into the village to give him a call to wish him a happy birthday. And I was 19 at the time. And I was taken to a Greek hospital, and because there was a communication barrier, my treatment wasn't given appropriately how it should have been given. And I was left there for 10 days, and to basically struggle for my life, really. And I couldn't speak the language. So I went through a massive, I guess we call it, when we're talking about ascension, it's like an initiation. So I was actually in this hospital. I couldn't speak that language. The bus driver, because I was on motorbike, so the motorbike hit the side of a bus, and the people were just amazing. The Greek people were just absolutely amazing and so helpful, but there was definitely a language barrier, and they didn't have the medical supplies or the medical know-how how to treat my situation. So that was complex. So it became more complex. So I basically ended up there with gas gangrene. So it was actually it's a horror story.
Gangrene?
And, yeah, I had gangrene. And
wow, they usually have to amputate things when that happens.
Yes, they do.
Did so they didn't have to with you?
No, I'm blessed. I just know how I was looked after by so many people. I was there for 10 days due to financial changes back in 1980, like and all the consulates and all the rest of it, they wouldn't guarantee money would go to the airline. So I was there an extra few days. So every day became critical when I was actually there. And because I'd just finished my nursing training, I refused to take blood because I know that blood products in some countries haven't gone through the same process. So I refused all kind of medication, except I let them treat me for infection, which I think I received penicillin shots like several times a day. And
that was awesome. If I may add that you were even in a traumatic situation like that you still were aware and alert enough to be able to say, no, I don't want that and want that. That's awesome, because a lot of times when we go through something like that, or if someone goes through something even close to that, they'll just yes to everything, just get me better. But you still, knew, no, don't do that. I don't feel that doesn't resonate with me to take that blood. So that's amazing. Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, I was really adamant, and I was just listening to my own guidance. I was just listening to what I went into a survival mode. So I just listened to what messages I was receiving. And at that time, I wasn't aware of like being connected to angels and light beings and things like that. I was just I was getting voices in my head telling me what to do. And I felt like if I don't listen to those voices, I'm not going to survive. I have to just listen to my own inner voice and the wisdom that was coming through. So that was really powerful for me. And it taught me a lot, obviously, at that time in such a critical state it doesn't matter where you are in your health, you can actually receive the wisdom from within. And if you're able to move through the fear or beyond that fear, so I had no choice. I was like stuck in bed. I had like a catheter. I had an IV, like IV fluids. I had half cast on one leg, and one leg was actually totally bandaged up. And they told me I had a fracture, which I knew I didn't. And I couldn't go anywhere anyway, so I had no choice. I was just flat on my back. So
Wow.
beautiful bus driver used to come in twice a day, because in that country at that time, your relatives had to feed you and look after you and bathe you. So
Wow.
he was a man, so he couldn't bathe me. So I wasn't bathed for like 10 days. It was
Wow.
yeah, I had to just rely on a friend that stayed for a few days, and then she met another lady in the caravan park or the camping ground that they were staying at. And this girl said she was actually a nurse, and she was from Miami, and she was traveling with a photographer who worked for NBN. And they came to see me, and she saw me, and she said to my friend, "You go, we've got to get her out of here really fast." So she actually took over. So without her name was Lynn, and she was like amazing angel. She basically got me out of there. So I had to get airlifted out of there to London. I wouldn't have made it to Australia. So I had like six seats on the plane, and she helped organise everything with my parents back in Australia. Wow. So everything. It was very traumatic for everybody, right. Not just me, it was for them as well.
And wow, that's just amazing that you went through all that. And in hindsight, you didn't know at that time that it was necessary for you to go through something like that to elevate yourself in life. And that's, wow. Oftentimes, I never tire or get weary of listening to, amazing and traumatic stories like this that lead to transformations with people. I hear it, and I know it's being shared with me. It's not a coincidence, because it seems like that's what really causes the awakening. It can either, like they say, either make or break you. So it made you, who you are now. I mean,
absolutely.
When you maybe share something like that, what I just said to a person that isn't quite ready to receive that information yet, they would say, no, she didn't have to go through that, but you already know.
I know. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I was airlifted and to London, and luckily I had the best plastic surgeon they could had there, who was doing some experimental work on skin grafting, and he saved my leg. When I went there, I got renal failure. Things got worse when I got there. I had blood clots throughout my legs. I still got all these things going on in my body to a certain degree. So that's why I actually turned into natural therapies, natural medicine, because that's helped me throughout my whole life. So, lots of things, I guess, have happened since then. But it's at that time in London, I had renal failure, and I had like 8 bags of fluids coming into my body. I had so much pain. It was excruciating pain. And I just went, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. And like you said, people get to that stage, they can either do it or they can't. And I remember like about 3 a.m. one morning, I went, I've had enough. This is too much for me. I can't stand the pain. There was so much going on in my body. And so I left my body. I remember being like the hospital room. I was in a private wing of the hospital. And I found myself outside my body, really conscious.
Looking down at yourself?
Yeah. And I was going in and out of the wall. I could actually move. First of all, I thought, I'll come out of the window, but I'm just floating. I'm just here. This is really strange.
Wow.
And then I found I could actually move in and out of the wall. So I was like playing around with like and just seeing myself there. And then I went, okay, I'm exploring, I'm out of here. And because when I was out of my body, I had no pain. And I felt bliss, I felt fun, I felt fantastic. So there was this disconnection that happened then. And then I wandered off into space and like found myself moving through a lot of darkness and then towards an energy around a light. But in that light, there were 12 cloaked beings. And it was like the light was shining down on top of them. And there was I, no body, just a mind, and communicating with them telepathically. And they basically said, we'll take you back home if you want to go back home, or you can go back. And I felt this really, I was happy to leave, but I felt this tug. All my family came back to me, I had a fiance at that time, and all these emotional attachments were pulling me back. So I was being pulled back, and I thought, I need to see these people again. I'm not ready to go. So I found myself back in my body, actually landed back in my body. And I remember people waking me up in the morning, kind of shaking me really hard to make sure I was there. But the message, the conversation that I had with these light beings, because I didn't know who they were, they just were talking to me. They said, we'll send you back, and we're going to ask you to help us at a later time in life.
Right.
And we'll come back to you, and we'll help, and you can help us if you want to go back, and we'll help you. We'll take the pain away. We'll make you heal fast and all the rest of it. So I went, okay, deal done. So I went back into my body, and then my body just healed. Like I stopped taking painkillers, because I was basically on a lot of pain medication when I got to London because of all the pain, but it didn't really do it that much. But they took me off all that. I said, I don't want anything. They said, we can give you tablets. I said, I don't want anything. So I went like cold turkey, and my body healed. Like within 2 weeks, I was up walking, and I was on a flight back to Australia.
Wow, that's further.
It was pretty
affirmation
insane.
as to what you went through, what you experienced.
Yeah,
that's amazing, and no one can deny that, because that doesn't happen where you heal from that traumatic injury in 2 weeks like that. So yes, wow, that is amazing. So yes, continue on, because what I want to know is, so from, you're still dealing with it, so I'm not trying to be insensitive to that, but I want you to elaborate more on what transformation took place from this traumatic experience.
Yeah.
And your gifts and talents that you have.
Yeah, I've had a lot of because of my own physical health, I decided I couldn't actually go back to my nursing career. I did try, but it didn't work. I couldn't physically, because I had problems with my legs, and I needed to get stronger again. So I started studying and like all the natural therapies, like naturopathy and things like that. So, and all the different energetic modalities. So I spent about 12 years studying with different teachers.
Wow.
And and then I kind of got to the stage where I was about 35, 36. Well, first of all, they told me I couldn't have children, but we brushed through that with no problem. I had two children. The doctor said you can't have any children. So, and all I've done is listened to my heart and listened to my guidance, what I'm meant to be doing. And it doesn't matter. It's like, no matter what authorities tell me, I know what's right inside myself. So that's the thing that I know. And that's one of the biggest takeaways, I guess, that I've had from that whole experience, that near-death experience, is like, I know I'm right for me. I know what's right for me.
Right.
And that's how I work with my clients. We get them connected with what's right for them, and then everything opens up.
That's what I was looking for too, is you help people to connect and know that they have this inner guidance system, this intuitive, gifts themselves, and you help them to find that. You help nurture and cultivate that with people, and that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. That's basically what, and I take them through a lot of pain to do that, because as we see, there's a painful process in
Right,
transformation.
right.
And that's like, there's no, you can't get out of that. I'm sorry. Like, if you want to evolve, you want to transform, you want to awaken, you have to go through the discomfort.
That's right.
Because that's our growth. It's like being born. Each time you go through a shift in consciousness, we're being reborn again. So, and we're letting go of everything. I mean, I've been going through that myself in the last 6 months as well, through all the changes that are happening on the planet at the moment. And I think a lot of people are going through that. So this is where it's really important for us to actually really get connected and know that our truth is actually within, not without. So, and really connecting to that, because that's where we'll find the most joy, the most passion, the most aliveness. It's where we'll get all of our gifts from, just by learning to trust that process.
That's amazing. Keep going. And if I look down, pardon me, because I was looking at a quote earlier, and I know it's not coincidental, it's serendipitous to what we're talking about now. So keep on talking. And
Okay.
pardon me for a second.
That's okay.
I'm listening.
So I went through a process of learning to do lots of healing techniques, and I hadn't thought that I had any gifts or anything special until my dad had a single lung transplant. He was the first man in Australia to have a single lung transplant.
Wow.
And that was.
And when was this?
1990.
1990.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 1990. Yeah.
Lung transplant, and it was successful.
Well, it was for a certain limited amount of time, but I went in there to the intensive care and I did some energetic work on him, and the nurses said, I left him and I said, stay there, just rest, I'm going. So my sister rang me in the afternoon and said to me, what did you do to Dad? And I said, and I got really scared, oh my gosh, what have I done? And she said, because the nurses said it's like a miracle. He's actually got up, had a shower, he's sitting out in the solarium reading the newspaper. That was my dad,
Wow.
And I'm going, oh my gosh. And they said, whatever you did was a miracle. And because that's not normal, 2 days after a lung transplant, or a transplant.
I'm starting to see a pattern of these miraculous healing in your experiences. And I mean, and have you connected that?
Yeah, well, I have. I help people, but that
you healed so fast, and your father did too. Did you put those two together? Yeah,
well, I have now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not. I don't see that it's me. I see it's the light beams coming through me, and that's who I work with. And I call on that energy. I call on them to do the work. I was trained in lots of energetic processes. I was trained by a magician who was a psychologist and a magician, an Eastern magician, and that was amazing. I studied with him for 4 years. So, and I've had lots of amazing teachers. People come to me and want to teach me things. So that's the way it's been. I haven't really looked. I just listen and follow the guidance that comes from within. So that kind of happened with my dad, but he passed away 9 months after. And unfortunately it was on my sister's birthday. Sorry?
Was it due to complications of the lung?
Yeah. There was a rejection. They used to take a sample of the lung tissue. They used to every 6 weeks. So you'd have to go back into a surgical kind of procedure, and he ended up getting a golden staph infection, which only comes from the hospitals anyway. So he had to be isolated. He went into renal failure, and I helped him with that as well. I helped him come out of renal failure, but then he was sent back into renal failure by a mistake. Then he said, I've had enough. I want to leave. And I said, okay. So you have to honor. So he'd been through a lot, and it was his decision to have the lung transplant as well. It was all his decision to do that. So we were just supporting him through that process. That was
another hard moment that you went through in life. And it's amazing that you're still here and you want to share, I commend you on that. And you want to share, part of your story, because I know that had to be tremendously hard, if not even harder than what you went through yourself to watch your dad, and know that the end was coming. That had to be a difficult period in your life.
It was difficult. I saw him 3 days before he passed.
Right.
And I knew I was never going to see him again alive.
Right.
And I'd come to terms with that because at the time I was nine months pregnant as well.
Wow.
So
yeah.
I was about 3 weeks off having my second child, and I was traveling like an hour and a half every day, backwards to 3 hours a day, to help him and do like healing on his, like I was doing reflex work on his feet to rejuvenate his organs and things like that to help the energy get back into them. And what actually happened is I just knew, he said, don't come back. We had like words and, and he said, you don't have to come back. I'm leaving, I'm going. I said, okay. So we had our kind of last words.
Wow.
And
wow.
Which was really powerful. But yeah, like you said, it was really, so upsetting to actually experience that process, someone that you love dearly.
But the positive out of that, if I can salvage something positive out of that, is that he was able to tell you some last words before he transitioned. Yeah. And it wasn't just all of a sudden, he fell asleep and never woke up, and he didn't know it, or it hit him. And that's that right there, at least I don't know if that's harder to know it's coming or not, but I think honestly, if it were me too, you would eventually get to the point where you would have to be okay with it and make peace with that,
Yeah, I was at peace with that.
Right. And that's the good part. That he was strong enough that you were strong enough to make peace with it. And he was too. And to be able to say, the final words that he wanted to say to you, or get whatever affairs in order, and then, and then let go. And that's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I found that one of the quotes that I was looking at the other day, but it kind of reminded me of what we were talking about. And it says, I don't know if
every
you can see
negative experience
has the seed of transformation. Yes. Yeah. And absolutely. Another one that reminds me of that was, I don't know who said this quote, but it was like, a lot of times when you think you've been buried, you've actually been planted. So you're under all this stuff, and now you've been planted so you can grow. So that's amazing. And that's exactly
what I love that one.
Yeah, that's what I
love that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, from listening to you, is that you've been planted more than one time.
Oh yeah, I have.
Yes.
I have. But the beautiful gift out of that, his passing, was when my daughter was born. I had a pain-free birth, and the angels handed my daughter to me. Like, I got to see the whole visual. Like, I never had that with my first child. It was just like amazing. And I think that's quite rare, but I felt like that was a real gift at that time too. So like, she came into our lives and brought lots of light and sunshine and laughter and joy. So it was really quite special.
You have an amazing gift, of seeing things that a lot of people don't experience, and that comes with responsibility, and you already know that, and that's what you're doing. That responsibility is helping other people through your intuitive gifts, and you're able to see things and see the angels and special things like that are communicating with you. And because you have this gift, yes, you have that responsibility. And I'm so thankful that that you've accepted that, and that you are willing to share with others your experiences and how it came about that you are doing what you're doing now. And it's just amazing. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. So what I was going to ask is, before we leave here, how can people find you? You shared with me already some links, and I will make sure that they are incorporated in in the description of this video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put your entire bio. I'm gonna put it in the description of this video so people can read it, because I want them to read this your amazing testimony here. And I know you had to narrow that down, but still it's amazing. So I'm gonna put that in its entirety there. And I'm also gonna put your links. But while I have you here, how can people find you?
Okay, probably the best way is I do a lot of work. I do international work. Most of my work is a lot of international work. So I'm really more than happy to work with people distantly. I do a lot of remote work because I do have a lot of inner vision ability. So I suppose. So I'm happy to do that. I actually, best to contact me on my webpage, which is purebalance.com.au.
Purebalance.com. What?
Purebalance.com.au.
Okay.
.au. Yeah, Australia.
.au. Yes, Australia.
Yeah. That's probably the easiest way. I've actually got, you can opt into, I have a monthly coaching call that anyone can join if they like. So we do some journaling and some meditation. I take you through a meditation practice, and that focuses on the energies that we're experiencing very much in the present and going into the next month. So that's a really lovely sharing that I offer people. Apart from that, I'm happy to jump on a soul assessment. I like a 15-minute call, and I can tell you exactly where your block is, and I can share with you how you can actually make those changes too. So, and if you want to kind of go and do further work with me, we can do that as well. So
absolutely amazing. Yes. So the links that she just shared and more will be in the description of this video. So look her up. Thank you again, Kim, for coming on to the show and for sharing with me and my audience. I learned so much from you in this short period of time. You're an amazing being. You already know that. And you have amazing experiences that just contribute to the light that you are. And I just thank you very much for sharing some of your time with me. Thank you very much. Love and appreciation to you.
Thank you so much, Luke. I've had fun talking to you. It's great. And I really appreciate the opportunity to actually be in front of your beautiful audience. So
yes,
look forward to maybe more chats down the track.
Yes, of course. Yes, I want to get you again. So thank you, everyone. Enlightened, empowered, evolved. See you soon. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I know you enjoyed yourself because I did.
Bye.